Israel is continuing with the challenging task of ensuring that so-called aid organizations in Gaza are not being exploited by Hamas and other terror groups who have regularly hijacked supplies meant for civilians. A group of aid organizations have now petitioned the High Court in Jerusalem to let them keep working in Gaza following a recent ban over new rules for such groups. The licenses of 37 NGOs are due to expire this Sunday after the groups refused to hand over information on their foreign and Palestinian employees. 17 international aid groups want the court to block the imminent order, forcing them to stop operations in Gaza, the West Bank, and East Jerusalem. So for more, we welcome Anne Herzberg, legal advisor to the NGO Monitor, joining us now from Jerusalem. Thank you so much for your time. The question is, why are these organizations taking the legal path here, going to the court, instead of simply complying with these anti-terror measures? Why not be transparent and help ensure terror groups don't infiltrate these aid groups? Tell us more.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a clear attempt at politicization to stir up a diplomatic incident. By going to the court, they can then generate press releases and they can get European diplomats to champion their cause and get in all of the world media. And there has been quite a bit of coverage of this in the media. And so it serves their purpose so that they don't have to do what is required of them under the law. They can just complain that, evil Israel is blocking them from delivering aid in Gaza when the reality is far different.
Some of these organizations include Doctors Without Borders, Oxfam, and the Danish and Norwegian Refugee Councils, amongst others. Your NGO Monitor has been tracking the blatant terror links with some of these organizations, some of them. What have you found so far? Tell us more.
Yeah, well, I think it's quite interesting because a number of these 37 NGOs not only had people that were linked to Hamas or Palestinian Islamic Jihad on their staffs, but we were given access to several Hamas documents that were taken out of Gaza, which were basically internal memos of Hamas talking about these aid organizations and documenting their meetings with these aid organizations. And they're quite astounding because they show that most of these 37 organizations handed over names of staff, names of their international employees, names of beneficiaries of their projects to Hamas for their approval. So for them to now say that they are not going to cooperate with Israeli counterterror regulations, which are not only mandated by Israeli law, but are mandated by Security Council 2803 and the Trump 20-point plan, is frankly outrageous. And I don't believe they deserve to be able to operate in Gaza if they're unwilling to engage in vetting, which is to prevent aid diversion.
So what kind of vetting is in place? As you say, these findings of yours are astounding. What happens next to ensure that aid groups are exactly that, just supplying humanitarian aid?
Yeah, well, I mean, to be frank, Israel really dropped the ball on this issue for many decades. And finally, after October 7th, realized the consequences of not paying closer attention to aid diversion and how Hamas was exploiting the aid sector. And so that is why in December 2024, they issued these new regulations, which are simply, common sense rules that these groups need to supply information about the projects, about the people that are working for them, in order that they can be vetted to ensure that Hamas people are not on their staffs and are not stealing the aid, which is what was happening before. So again, I don't see how they have any legitimacy to their claims. And if they really cared about Palestinians in Gaza and delivering aid, I don't understand why they are refusing to comply. And 30 other NGOs have complied with the rules. So it just shows that it's these groups, which frankly are also the most, I would say, politicized NGOs operating in the conflict, that engage in a lot of delegitimization campaigning, are the same ones now refusing to comply with these regulations.
Well, we certainly will be watching to see how it all unfolds. Anne Herzberg, live from Jerusalem, thank you so much.